We up now. It's your boy Alejandro Hernandez for the Dro In The Wind-Ep.5, and today we got a special guest, Rob Lyrical.
That's dope. Special. It's a heavy word.
Well, I mean, isn't that the part of the name for your label, Special Finish Wins?
Absolutely, but I don't necessarily know if it's because I'm special. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's the name of it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I like to think everyone's special in their own unique way. I'm just a very positive person.
Likewise. I guess I can think that too. I just don't think that highly of myself. I guess that's kind of sad. But you know what I'm saying? I just,
let's talk about let's unpack that.
You know, this is my therapy session. No, man, like I guess in the world, my place, I just kind of talked to Julian about earlier. I just don't think that I'm that important. You know what I'm saying? It's not even about being humble and shit. It's just like, at the end of the day, I make music. Some motherfuckers that, like, cure diseases. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, like, how important really, like, you know what I'm saying, is what you're doing in the general scheme of things. Yeah. You know? So it's just that, you know what I'm saying? Just understanding, I guess, the reason for being alive is humanitarian work. Leaving shit better than it was before you were here. Yeah. And it's just like, this is just very scratching the surface in what people actually do in their day-to-day lives. So, yeah, that's why it's like, so not to say that I don't have a self-esteem. I think I'm special. I just don't walk around with this, this hubris, of feeling like, I need to be regarded a certain way is all. Also, I'm sorry if it's, like, very low energy. I'm tired. Like,
No.
Sorry, it's been a long couple of days.
No, you good. I feel that. That's real. I still appreciate you having me on, but no, that's what you just said. Like, definitely resonates with me for sure, because I've always been kind of caught up in, like, this way of thinking where I was just like, man, what the fuck? Like, in the grand scheme of things, like, I'm not shit.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I guess it's not, like, not shit, but it's just, like, you know what I'm saying? It's obviously subjective of what someone feels is important to them. For me, I just feel like what's important to me is important to me, and that's what it is. Like, for everybody else, if you feel like what I'm doing is special, that's dope, you know what I'm saying? But I'm about 15% done. So I got so much more. I think maybe when I start to hit like 65%, 70%, I'm like, oh shit. But until then,
I like that. I think that's kind of like the attitude that I've more or less adopted lately. Is like, I kind of like, I just focus on the things that's important to me, and if anyone fucks with it, then yeah, they fuck with it.
That part.
But I'm not necessarily too concerned about trying to, I don't know, I guess just be special. I don't really give a fuck about being special, I guess. Even though I consider myself special, I don't really give a fuck.
Special, fam. I give a fuck if you special.
Like, no, but I guess in the sense of like where I'm like, I'm not trying to impress no one, really.
And that's the way you're supposed to be. You're supposed to just be, man. Just be. And then if you just be, generally that's more impressive. Simple things work. So usually when people are trying to be special, you can tell. When people are just being themselves, you can tell. So yeah, man, just be you, man. All the things that are for you will come close. All the things that's not for you will move farther away. It works out.
Facts. Yeah. But let's get to like the guts of this interview.
Okay.
The first question I always like to ask my guests is just like who they are. So like, who is Rob Lyrical?
I'm Rob Lyrical. I'm 27 from Chicago. I music producer. I'm just a guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like I said, just really trying to stick to the simple, I guess, theme of things. Creating shit with people I enjoy being around. Creating platforms for people to create. You know what I'm saying? And just being more so in the background. I'm more of a background person, of all the things. So even doing something like this is cool because, like, most people are not just seeing, like, me do this. I usually have somebody else doing this, and I'm, like, behind it. So, yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I guess I'm a man of many hats. But more than anything, like I said, I'm just a person. Just a person, man. A creative person. And that's about it. I'm sorry, it's not, like, super in-depth. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, man, that's perfect. Because, like, that's just real. You're just, I mean, shit, that's kind of like how I would just describe myself. It's just, like, I'm just a regular dude. Like, people have come up to me and be like, oh, you're this, you're that. And I'm just like, I'm just chilling, dude. Like,
you feel me?
I'm just doing the things that I like to do.
Absolutely. You know, and if other people fuck with what I'm doing, that's dope. But I don't do it for other people. I just do it for me.
Exactly.
And then, you know, it works out sometimes to have other people be like, oh, that's cool. And it's like, all right, sweet. But, like, this is kind of a selfish thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing this because it's what I enjoy doing. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And then, I mean, you've obviously, like you said, like you like to work in the backgrounds, and I think that's obviously very indicative of your role as, like, you know, your experience as a producer, and just like, you know, you're in the back. You kind of, you're not in the forefront of things. But you're still very integral role in, like, making music. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess so. I guess I'm in the forefront without the face, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of how I like it. You know, the more I climb, I would just like to go to Target. You know what I'm saying?
Shout
Not
out
be like,
Target. My mom works.
You know
there.
what I'm saying? I just, you know, in general, just outside without people being like, yo, was that Rob? Like, fuck that. Like, you know, that shit. I watch all these documentaries. I was really just rewatching the Jordan shit. And there's a whole episode. He's like, yo, like, this shit not cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm contained to this room, and then when I'm not, it's like 400 people in my face. That shit seems terrifying. As a person that's like his privacy and shit. Like, that's why. That's more even a reason why I became a producer more than anything else. Because it's just like, if I wanted to be a rapper and shit, I would be in front. People would. I don't want to be in front. Yeah. I just want to be able to go to concerts and watch people be like, oh shit, like, this is dope, and I'm just sitting there like, yeah, it's dope. They don't even know. Yeah.
That's cool. No, that's something I've been thinking a lot about lately, because I recently watched Mike Tyson's podcast with Lewis Howes, and, you know, they talk about, like, fame and fortune and shit like that. And obviously Mike Tyson, you know, for the longest time, he was one of the most recognizable people in the world, baddest man on the planet, shit like that. But, like, he talks about, like, he hated fame, bro. Like, that fame ruined him in a lot of ways. And he just is like, now he's just, like, on his, like, this, he's found his inner peace, you know, and shit like that. But, like, it got me thinking, like, damn, man, like, I hate the idea of being popular.
Yeah, I mean, and on top of that too, just the idea of popularity is kind of wild, because a lot of time what's popular is not what's good. Mm-hmm. It's just popular, and then people assume like, oh, this is popular, this is good, and those things aren't synonymous, but they get, you know, they clash fairly often. So, I guess the idea of popularity in just general is kind of weird, but I get it. Mm-hmm. But you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, it becomes like a whole different conversation on like self-esteem, what people think of them, and what they think is good. And again, like I said, you'll see I'm a more so of a free will person. I just like to let people think what they think.
Yeah.
And then I think what I think, and then we thrive in the same spaces, you know. But
yeah, man. I mean, that's real. I mean, I like to think of myself as someone like and I feel like the world we live in is so obsessed with like clout.
Yeah.
And trying to be like popular or shit like that. Or I mean that's the age we live in with social media. Like everyone has like their own little. A lot of people feel like they're like celebrities because of, you know, they got X amount of followers, X amount of likes, shit like that. And I'm like, it all goes back to what we were talking about. Like, I just do this shit because I like it. If other people just so happen to like it, then, you know, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's also like me. I guess like for me, I don't really care so much for like clout or popularity, but I definitely want, you know, I want to be someone that people definitely respect.
I think it's a necessary evil to get to a certain point, because I'm kind of the same way. And with clout being like, what is that exactly? You know what I'm saying? And that shit just being, I don't know. I realize people don't even really look at, I don't know, man, success as money or surviving, as opposed to just, do people know who I am? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a whole conversation in itself. Like I said, I won't get too in depth with it, but clout don't really mean shit. You know, and the further I go up, the people that got the most money and the most power got 100 followers. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't even, they wear fucking regular clothes. They drive fucking Camry. You know what I'm saying? So, I think clout is just another way to be able to talk to another audience, is all. Mm-hmm. You know? But the motherfuckers that know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's what it is. It's that if you know, you know. That's one of my favorite sayings. Is like, and that's the way I try to live my life. Like, I try to just, like, do things, and, like, I know there's going to be a certain demographic of people that will recognize those things, and, like, to me, those are the only people, and not that I'm going out my way to impress those people, but I know that, like, they're going to notice it, and I know because they notice it, I know I guess it's just, we're just a part of the same community, you know?
Yeah, I mean, even with me, when I copped the Beam, a lot of niggas talk to me differently, but I had been multi-platinum for years, so it's just kind of like, you can tell what people care about, you know what I'm saying? I was already doing things that I thought would bring a claim. They didn't care about that until it's a fucking Beamer in the room. You know what I'm saying? So, I think for me, even that shit was more strategic. Even though, like, even if you look behind Chinza and we love cars and shit like that. But I just knew, like, okay, like, motherfuckers talk to you differently when you have a plaque as opposed to when you have a Rolex. And it's just unfortunately the way it is. It's just who you speak to. It really matters. And for me, it's just kind of like I more so like to talk to the people that see this plaque as something as opposed to this Rolex or something. Because, you know, when you luxury anyway, they just selling maintenance. So once you really get that shit for real, it's not even what you think. It costs more to keep the Rolex than to fucking keep the Rolex. Like, and you don't know that until you get it. And it's like, oh shit. But everybody had one. They don't tell you that. That's why you see motherfuckers with a Rolex one day and it's just gone. That's why you see motherfucker with a Ferrari or some shit one day and then it's just gone. Because it's hard to upkeep those things and it's not human on the internet to be like, yo, I lost it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think nowadays I don't even remember specifically what we're talking about. You know, podcast shit going a tangent, but I think it's just being able to recognize what's important to you and what you're striving for and focus in on that and just move in that direction. And if you fuck with Rolex or some shit like that, hey, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I think a lot of people get into a certain space and never cared about that shit and look around like, so we wearing Montclairs? All right, cool. Like, you know, motherfucker, you don't like Montclair. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I know motherfuckers that's dirt broke that's looking at Montclairs right now, you know? So I just think it's understanding generally what you like and not letting the world really influence that and just sticking to that. Yeah, you be good.
No, I like that. Because that makes me just think about this. I recently had a job for a brief period at a marketing agency, and that's a very, I don't know, like everybody there was just, you know, dressed up like in suits and shit.
Yeah.
All this fancy clothes, and I've never had those types of clothes, and it was weird. And like, cause it was funny, cause like in college, for the longest, I always told myself like, I'm never gonna like that professional corporate America lifestyle isn't me. I'm not gonna go for it. Fuck all that bullshit. Yeah. Sure enough, that ended up being my first job out of college.
Hell no.
It ended up being my first like real job out of college, and at first I thought it was cool. I thought like, hey, I'm gonna start making money. I'm gonna finally be able to afford these things that I never thought about owning before ever again. But just because it was within the realm of possibility, I was like, fuck it, might as well. But then like, I mean, after working there just for a week, I was just so fucking unhappy and miserable.
What you feel like you learned from that?
What I learned from it, like it got a lot of shit that you just said. I was about to say it. It made me realize. Okay, I know what is for me. Basically, like I know what is and isn't for me, and that lifestyle isn't for me.
What do you feel like is more important, money or purpose?
Purpose for sure.
How come?
Lately I've been thinking a lot about my purpose.
You find it?
I think so. Yeah.
What is it?
So, oh shit, this is getting real. We're getting real into
Which
it.
one of us is getting interviewed?
No, I like this. I like it.
Welcome to Tea Time with Rob.
but so actually, it's funny how you just asked that and. You know, and because it all relates to that job. That job, even though it wasn't for me, it helped me find my purpose. Yeah. Because once I quit from it, that same day after like I talked to my boss on the phone, let him know that I wasn't going to come back. I got a text from one of my friends. Shout out Hate Sunny. And he was like, "Yo, bro, you know, what you on tomorrow? Like, would you like to?" We want to discuss some like business ideas basically. And I was like, for sure. I mean, I just quit from my job, so I was like, I was free whenever, you know. I was like, sure, I could pull up tomorrow.
Open schedule.
And yeah, pretty much. And I mean, it's the reason why we're in this office that we're in right now. So I pulled up to Fortune House office. Shout out Fortune House. Shout out Mac.
Fortune House. I'm endorsing these things I don't know about. Shout out to y'all. Some other shit. Should they support the opposite of climate change?
But basically, so the place that we're in, this office building that we're in, is all because of the good people at Fortune House.
Shout out to them.
Who are just, you know, we just had them on for the last episode. But basically, like, you know, we had a meeting and we talked, and after, I don't want to go into full details of like what we talked about just because it's going to be revealed in due time.
I want you to tell us.
But basically though, they did offer me to use this space to record this podcast.
That's awesome.
And I mean, that's, like I said, like, that's why we're here right now. But then just like walking out of that meeting, you know, just thinking about like, damn, like, if I had stayed at that job,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have been able to meet with folks,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because I would have been working, you know, and shit like that. And it just made me think about like how I'm on the right path, basically. Like that meeting, after I came out that meeting, I just felt so grateful and so full of like just positive attitude and really just thanking God on some real shit.
Yeah.
I was just like, yo, like, shout out, like, there's a video of Mike Tyson who's like, he screams into the microphone, praise be to Allah, and that video lives like rent free in my head. So like when I walked out of that meeting, that was like the only thing that was just going in my head, like, praise be to Allah, shout out Mike Tyson. And it just made me realize like this is my purpose. This is like this path that I'm on right now. Like I made the right decision by like not continuing to this corporate America ass path and instead opting to do the things that I want to do and follow my own free will. And
that part.
That from there I was like, that's when I really like, all right, this is my purpose.
It's beautiful. And again, I think you just hit one of the key themes in growth, which is just trying. Just try. You know what I'm saying? Don't have expectations, just try. And then you tried to do the corporate shit. No, okay. Then you try to do this shit, it's like, okay. And it's just it. Like, it's not even like that deep, and even when things don't necessarily go the way you might want, it's not necessarily failure. It's just like, all right, cool, just gotta try something else. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a video game. We all play video games. If you ever played a game where the shit just was like after you failed a certain amount of times you locked out, like, no, just keep playing that shit. Try something different. Try something new. Try a different game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe the game wasn't for you, you know? And I just think that, knowing your age and shit like that, it's cool to be able to see, like, creatives. Because I'm only 27, so it's not like, I'm not 40, you know what I'm saying? But I take this hat off, I look 40. No, it's just cool to be able to see, like, kids, like, or younger kids or kids at my age, close to my age, just trying. Because a lot of times it's just that motherfuckers don't try. They just 9 to 5. I fucking hate this. It's like that's your soul telling you something. When you're doing some shit and it feel off, it don't feel right. Your intuition is like, this ain't for you. And inner you knows you can be whatever the fuck you want. So when you tell inner you can't, then it's like and when you get uncomfortable, that's actually my big dilemma right now. It's like when you're uncomfortable, generally you're getting closer or further away from something that's good for you. You got to figure out what that is. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you get close to this shit and it's horrible for you. So the closer you get, the universe is like, all right. And you forcing it, but it does the same thing right before you get growth. So I think that's kind of the hardest thing to be able to dictate. It's like, is this good for me or bad for me?
That makes so much sense. Like, no, legit. Yeah. Like, I feel like you just helped me connect so many dots like that I've been like looking at for like the past few months.
Yeah.
No, that just like really made me put things into a lot of perspective and just like, and I'm just like, I'm just thinking about like shit, like in terms of like that growth mindset, being able to try things, and also video games, because also I was recently thinking about video games and how I feel like I've kind of fucked up. Like, feel like video games kind of fucked me up.
In what way?
In the sense that, like, because of that, being able to start over basically whenever you can. And I feel like that, like, kind of fucked me up in the sense that, like, there's no real do-overs in life. But I feel like playing so many video games, in my subconscious mind, I'm like, there's always going to be a do-over. But, like, nah, it doesn't work like that.
I think it does. I mean, I just feel like when you say that, does that mean to say you feel like you missed opportunities or?
Yeah, I feel like I've missed opportunities.
No, you didn't, because if you were supposed to be for you, would have happened, right? So did you miss it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Shit. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like, even if you were a good 3-point shooter and you miss, like, does that mean you're not a 3-point shooter no more? Like, fuck it, shoot again, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, yeah, all right, yeah.
No, I get what you were saying, though. I want to invalidate, like, I'm saying, how you feel. I've been reading a book on this. It's called I Hear You, and it's making me become a better listener. And it's important to validate what a person is saying. Example, like, if a girl tells you, I feel like I'm ugly, you don't go, you're not ugly, because obviously she's not. But if this is how she feels, she's opening this thing and you just say, you kind of got to put it in a way where I understand why you feel that way, but it's kind of fucked up to say that because it's being like, yeah, you're ugly as fuck. Like, But no, it's just to be able to, like, when people say certain things, you have to give them a positive reinforcement, and even something that just somebody says, that's how I feel, and even when they say, I'm having a bad day, and they're like, well, you shouldn't, because there's so many things to be appreciative of. It's like, that's a negative. That's just as bad as being like, shut the fuck up. Like, it's a great book.
I'm gonna have to check out that book.
Yeah, shout out Amazon.
Actually, let's not shout out.
Nah, shout out Amazon. My nigga Jeff Bezos trying to get to that trill, so we trying to help him out.
Nah, man.
Capitalism! All right, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm waking up now.
I'm dead, man. I mean, I'm not even gonna front. I'm not gonna act like I didn't buy some shit off Amazon.
Hey man, we living in a monopoly. You can't not. You know what I'm saying? It's funny to be on the internet and watch people be like, I don't want to do this. You ain't got no real fucking choice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We are within the system that niggas built, so we kind of at the mercy of that until either we dismantle it or we create something different. And I'm not like the smartest when it comes to that shit. Again, I try to be human. So if I see some weird shit, I just be like, hey, it's kind of weird. That's it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's kind of weird, but I don't have a real solution. So I'm not going to be one of those people on my soapbox. It's just kind of like, all right, I saw it. Back to 100x100, you feel me? Like,
pretty much. That's pretty much how I like to live my life. I just peep shit, and if like if
part.
shit's weird, I'm like,
you gotta speak on it. You know what I'm saying? And that's
like,
it. And that's it. You don't gotta, be overly aggressive. You gotta be like, hey, bro, that was some weird ass shit you just did. And they'll be like, I was like, all right, cool, I'm still weird. Like,
I feel like I always have this conversation like at least once a day with somebody in my life, where we just talk about
you got good people in your life now. Shit.
Weird
good conversation.
Yeah, man, I do got some really good people in my life. But like we just always end up talking about the weirdos that we've encountered. And I'm like, why the fuck are people so weird? And like every one of those conversations always ends the same way, where it's just like, motherfuckers are just gonna be weird for no reason.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where you just understanding like, yo, the way you feel strongly about something, somebody feels as strongly as you do in the opposite way. Mm-hmm. And they have their own set of circumstances that got them there just like you. So sometimes it's just like, you know what I'm saying, you have to be able to understand how a person listens to be able to talk to them. And some people just don't want to learn, and when people don't want to learn, they can't listen. When they can't listen, they can't hear you. So, you know what I'm saying? That's why even the internet for me is always weird, because it's like, yeah, you can't get online and like argue with somebody that thinks the opposite of you if they're not willing to listen to an opposite viewpoint. Yeah. It's a brick. We might as well talk to this fucking wall. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's why I don't even like arguing with people on the internet or even through text, because it's just like,
I don't argue with people in general. I ain't gonna hold you. I like to hear other people's perspectives. And then I give mine. And a lot of times, if you pop somebody's cognitive dissonance, they'll get very aggressive. So I understand why some people get like, I don't know, very defensive when you tell them certain things. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm with you. It's the internet too. It's just like, I don't think most people care about the things they say they care about anyway. It's just what looks good today. Post your black box. Black Lives Matter. I'm going to bed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like people don't really care about shit the way that they say they do. And 9 times out of 10, ironically, the people that actually do care, not saying much at all. They just already just embodying that and living that,
Mm-hmm.
So
leading by example.
Exactly
that's how I like to live my life.
Same.
Lead by example.
Yeah, man.
Fuck all that talk shit.
Fuck all that shit, man.
But anyway.
Sorry.
We just had to unpack a lot of, emotional shit. No, I'm just fucking around. But that was very insightful. I really appreciated that tangent we just went on. But I wanted to ask you though about Special Finish Wins.
Okay.
That's like your label. What is Special Finish?
Literally just a place for like creatives by creatives. So again, like I said, it's just very simple concepts. Just understanding that I wanted to sign with labels and shit like that. And I just felt like they wanted me to acclimate to what they wanted. And fair enough. If I'm coming to you, then I got to do that. And it got to the point where I was like, fuck this. I'm just doing my own shit. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Because I went through all these different places and labels and publishing companies and just seeing how they do things. And not to say they don't know what they're doing, but the general ideology of these companies knowing what they're doing or anybody is a fallacy. Everybody making it up as they go. You know what I'm saying? So it's just... Oh, my bad. I know you want to stop. It's just one of the things, you know what I'm saying, where, again, it's the why. Mm-hmm. The why is I just want a space to create with my friends. So I created it.
For sure.
And then for other people to create with their friends. And that's it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not crazy in depth. And it's not like this complex, nah, man, I just met a bunch of really good people that are leaders in their field. And I feel like I was a leader in what I was doing. And I wanted to be more so a conglomerate. I guess it is a label, but it's more of a conglomerate of people that, like, we all come together. That's right. Huh? You've been watching 100x100, right? So you know about Phantom Troop?
Yeah.
Same shit. They all come together, kill a bunch of motherfuckers. Then not to say we're killing people, but you know what I'm saying? They all come together for a common cause. and then they all go about their ways, and that's all Special Finish is. And even when we put people on, it's not about what I can get out of them; it's what I can do for you. And when you go to these labels and shit like that, it's about that. What can I get out of you, bro? There's no real money in music. People don't talk about this, but you know how many fucking streams you got to get on Spotify and Apple and YouTube to make money? Like, bro,
I'm already knowing.
take your fucking. You can have a majority of it. You know what I'm saying? But it's about really like having this knowledge and having this space and these resources and giving back. And that's it. And then I can use them for myself, and whoever comes around can, benefit and network and things like that. So again, it's just, as you can tell, I'm a very simple guy. Just simple concepts, for things that I like. You know what I'm saying? If I don't like the way they're cooking pancakes, I'm like, well, pancakes, man.
I like that. No, man. Yeah. I fuck with that whole mindset, especially the whole vision, I should say. I mess with the vision.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nah, because that's something like, dude, I feel like you're like just speaking on a lot of things that have already been on my mind for like the past week or so.
You might be a dope person.
But no, like I've been thinking a lot, like kind of backtracking a bit to when I talked about how my meeting with the Fortune House folks, I walked out of it.
Fortune House.
Shout out Fortune House.
Sponsored by Fortune House. No, I'm kidding. No, it's not.
I walked out of it, feeling like I had discovered my sense of purpose after that, and the reason for that though is also like it goes back to how you're saying, like it's just you and a bunch of people who are leaders in their respective fields coming together and just working together for a common goal. And I feel like that's really like that's really the shit I'm trying to do.
You doing it?
Yeah, man.
You already doing it.
I feel like I've definitely already been doing it for even before like this podcast. I've been doing it for years, just like with my radio show at DePaul, or just like
shout out to Paul.
Fuck DePaul.
Fuck DePaul.
Fuck DePaul and the click they claim. Shout out to
student loans.
Anywho, just going back to I've just been thinking a lot about the importance of just like finding like you're just collection of people that you just vibe with, basically, because I know I thought about, because like in college, I know there's like a lot of motherfuckers who I would spend a lot of time with back in college, and like I really didn't like spending time with them, but like I was kind of forced to.
Why were you forced?
Damn, actually, that's a good question, because now I think about it, I really wasn't forced. No, I guess in the sense of, I guess if anything, I was just hanging out with them more out of convenience type shit.
I understand.
Because I've always been more introverted. I've never really gone out my way to make friends.
Really? I can't tell. You're a pretty talkative guy, man. You very well versed, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. No, I feel like I definitely have like an on and off switch.
Okay.
Especially when there's a microphone in front of me.
Maybe you're just human. And balance is everything.
Balance is everything. I'm Libra, so I'm huge on balance.
I don't know shit about that, but I'm a Cancer, so I don't know if that helps you.
I'm a Cancer. That's my rising sign.
Listen, bro, I don't know enough women that like me to tell me about this. No, I don't know much about. I don't want to fuck this up. It's astrology, right?
Yeah.
Because one time I said horoscopes. Like, it's not fucking horoscope. Like, oh shit, I'm sorry. Like,
well, that's funny because it's like. You're probably thinking I'm like an expert on this shit, but I'm not. I don't know shit.
I just, hey man, if you don't gotta be expert. If you know more than I do, then cool. I'm taking that and I'm running with it.
Facts,
you taught me something today.
No, like with that shit, like I've always was like that, where I'm like, people would ask me shit. I'm like, I don't know shit about shit. I don't know. It's a Libra. That's it. Like I don't know shit about shit. But lately, I've been tapping into it lately, just because I've been just getting more into spiritual shit in general. So I'm just like, fuck it, man. What the fuck do these signs mean in the fucking stars? And I had a friend of mine actually kind of explained to me about that shit last week. Julian was there. And it really helped me, like, kind of, I'm not saying it's real or it's not real, but it definitely helps me kind of understand myself better.
I understand that. That's fair.
Yeah. I forgot what the fuck we were talking about.
It's all good, man. Let's talk about politics. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah. I think we were talking about just like finding just your collection. Oh yeah, I was talking about
Special Finish.
I
forgot that.
And then we started talking about how like discovering purpose, and then like just finding your collection of people. And then I was talking about how I was forced to hang out with people I didn't fuck with in college, but I really wasn't forced.
Yes.
That's what it was. So like you said, I was just always introverted. I just didn't like going out my way to try and make new friends, because I just didn't know.
I don't think you're supposed to do that though.
Yeah. Because
all your friends that understand your personality gonna come to you.
Facts. And that's exactly what it is. Because I was also in the fraternity too. Shout out 11th 5. Latino
I don't know
fraternity.
anything about fraternities. I mean, stop. I saw Boozy get crucified for that shit. So yeah, that was a joke. That was a joke, guys. I'm sorry.
I feel like Boozy's getting crucified for a new thing every other 2 weeks.
Yeah, he be yeah.
Still fuck with him though. Shout out Boozy. He made Wipe Me Down. Like that's you make a song as good as Wipe Me Down, you could get away with a lot.
Head, shoulders, knees. Said a lot there.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was like in a fraternity, and so like being in a fraternity.
How was that?
It had its pros and cons.
Was
for
there a lot of beer?
Yeah. Shout out Modelo time.
Modelo time.
I was actually never big into drugs or alcohol.
Really?
Before college.
So are you saying now you are?
Alcohol. I gave up alcohol for good.
Well,
This past summer, just all of it. Like,
how come?
I mean, so a lot of it relates to just like physical health.
I understand. You're right.
Yeah. So during the summer, I just had I like to call it a moment of clarity or awakening, whatever the fuck you want to call it, spiritual journey, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
And I just decided to detox myself of just like a lot of the things that I had been doing on the regular, and of those things was just happened to be like smoking weed and drinking beer.
Yep.
So I decided to give those things up. Weed I got back into just because I really do believe.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. I do
Yeah,
believe in the powerful medicinal benefits as well as just the fun of it. Like,
and you look so fucking cool doing it. No.
Exactly. No, exactly, dude. No, I love all my favorite anime characters are like the ones that like chain smoke, because it just reminds me of me just smoking just a joint, just casually, just like. But with beer though, I decided to just or alcohol in general. But I mostly drank beer of like all the types of different liquors. I decided to just give that up though, except for like holidays and special occasions, just because I'm like I don't really need it.
Facts.
Or like I don't, cause like with weed, like I could still
Function.
I could still function with weed. With beer though, it's just like, what are the benefits of it? You know?
Just feel like with alcohol, it's always more so rooted in escapism. I don't know too many people that get blackout drunk that's like, this shit is phenomenal. Like, every time I talk to them, they're like, yo, I fucking hate that I did that, as opposed to people that get fried. It's like, yeah, man, like, I was cool. I just wanted to get high. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's always, I mean, maybe it's just me and my bias and what I think about it. But yeah, I just always felt like alcohol was way more telling to a person's personality than weed was, which is crazy because they try to dictate for so long that weed was more telling than alcohol. But yeah, even when you look at the not even necessarily the health benefits, but just the negatives of both. Obviously, alcohol outweighs weed way more. Yeah. Other than, just having a panic attack.
Exactly. Like
trying to feel your legs.
To me, like, this shit is not even like beer's not, because like me, like, I'm a little. I mean, I've been losing weight, but
you're sexy, bro. You good? Don't trip, man. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know
where you supposed to be.
I know. But what I'm saying is, like I said, how before, like in high school, like I was never into that shit. Before, so I got to college. Back in high school, I was super swole. I was in three sports, super fit. College, by the time I graduated, I was pushing like 250, had like a beer gut, all that shit. so then I figured, you know what, man? Like, let me just get rid of this one thing that gave me a very visible side effect. Yeah. So on top of also just like, I just hate, like, I've only blacked out like maybe three, maybe 4 times, and I hated all those times. Like, those are like, fuck all that shit. Yeah. So I'm just like, it goes back to like just trying things and realizing what works for you, what doesn't. So I'm just like, yeah, that shit just doesn't work for me. Like, I don't need it.
I understand. I blacked out once though, in a freestyle. No, I'm playing. I've never blacked. I don't drink at all. I've drank actual alcohol maybe like 3 times in my life. Like, I'm talking about like hard liquor. My 21st birthday, my mom was like, stop being a bitch, we're going to drink. I'm like, all right, mom, goddamn. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I remember I drank.
Shut up, mom.
That's a good explanation of a mom. I drank this drink and I sipped it maybe like 6 or 7 times, and I stood up and I could not walk straight. And I've never experienced some shit like that where my brain was like, all right, let's go. But my body and I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, people drive like this? And ever since then, like, I'll drink like the neck of a blue moon and be drunk or some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get like a quarter of a beer in me and that'll get me right. But other than that, I've never really fucked with alcohol. I just not like the way it tasted, especially shots. Anything you have to take like Robitussin, I just assume that you're not supposed to be fucking taking that shit. No, that looks fucking terrible. Like, you know, so.
Yeah, I hate tequila. Tequila is like...
People tell me that some people love it. Some people, every time I mention tequila, say, yo, never say that word around me again. I'm like, okay, something must have happened.
I know, like when I mentioned like the 3-4 times I blacked out, like tequila was the main culprit.
Damn.
Yeah,
I've heard.
It's like I said, like the fraternity I was in, it was mostly Mexicans, man. So
shout out to the Mexicans.
Shout out to Mexicans for real.
You feel me?
But man, that tequila, that is demon juice.
Demon juice.
The fuck was I gonna say though? I kind of blanked out.
It's all good, man. We having the conversations. You know, it's natural. Sometimes you blank out. Normally, this is the time when I would check my phone. You would check your Twitter and shit, and be like, "Oh shit, you see this?" Like, you know what I'm saying? Anime. Let's talk about anime. You talking about anime a lot?
Yeah, I do talk about anime. This is like, dude, this is your podcast now.
Help, man.
Facts. So anime. Shit. So I guess we'll just talk about Hunter x Hunter. Or is it Hunter x Hunter or is it Hunter x Hunter?
It's whatever you want it to be, bro. Unless somebody's an asshole. You know,
All
you ever run into a person like, it's Hunter x. You know exactly what
I've always been calling it Hunter, but then hearing you earlier today say it's Hunter x Hunter, that just made me like. I mean, it made me question everything.
Well, I just read it like that. You know, there's an X there, so you know what I'm saying. Like, Hunter x Hunter. You know what I'm saying? If it's 10x, 10 times, like, you know.
Yeah, my thing is just because like in every episode title, it's like whatever.
The little X's?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna skip
It might
that.
be Hunter. I mean, you might be right. It might just be Hunter x Hunter, and you might be on a wave that we not on. You know what I'm saying? Third eye is open and not calcified.
Oh, my third eye is, my third eye. I've been tapping into my third eye a lot lately. I'd say it's about halfway open.
I feel that. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I kind of fried it because I know I like went on like a 3-day mushroom trip and it kind of fucked me up.
I mean, not the way you sink water, you know, drinking sink water, that type of shit will fuck you.
That's the thing. That's another thing too. Sink water. That's another thing too, because like growing up, like, you know, we always drank from the tap.
You feel me?
Like,
out the hose, nigga. Yeah, that's like, how we got our immune system. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Fuck
like,
COVID.
I just even then but even now, like once I started to like learn more about the third eye, I'm like, oh, you're not supposed to drink tap water. You only use natural spring water. I'm like, so then there are times where like, you know, because we don't have like a purified filter in my house, so like
sometimes you just gotta go for it.
Exactly. So I'm like,
make sure you alive.
I'm like, damn, like should I drink this tap? I really like thought about it, like, damn, should I drink this tap water? Like, what if this shit makes me dumb?
Well, it's not about being dumb. It makes you docile, like a puppy.
Yeah.
So, you know, and a puppy's not stupid. They just, you know, easy to control. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah.
Anyway, Hunter x Hunter.
Yes.
I don't know. I've been watching that lately.
Great.
Just got through the Hunter exams.
Okay.
I would say so far, what do you think about Hisoka, man? I mean, you obviously have seen it also, like, but like.
I don't think nothing about a nigga can throw cards hard as hell, strong finger ass nigga. I don't know. He dope, and I think it's kind of cool the way that they as you'll see, I won't ruin it, but I like how they shift his character to being this like, oh, fuck this dude. Maybe this guy's all right. Oh, fuck this dude. You know what I'm saying?
So my thing with him is because, like, so far, I'd say he's my favorite character, or at least I want him to be my favorite character, but he's given me way too many, like, the past few episodes, pedo vibes.
I mean, but it's like Japanese anime. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I know. There's always going to be those vibes.
You know what you're getting into at that point. It get weird.
But still, it's like, because like I see this character, he's cold as hell. He's like just killing everyone he fucking sees with no remorse, and that's raw as fuck. But then like he be acting weird around these little ass kids, and I'm like, I can't really like.
They privy to it though. Them little niggas like, hey man, that nigga weird, ain't he? Like, yeah, that nigga weird as fuck. Like, hey, man, like, they privy to it. So I mean. But yeah, I don't know. He definitely seems like a pedophile. But then again, it's anime, and I don't know how old motherfuckers is. And as you keep going, you'll run into a character. I forgot, and this will not ruin anything for you. You've watched Hunter, right? You know what I'm talking about? Shorty, that's like the shorty where she looked like a little baby, but then she looks like a little tiny kid. Biscuit. You'll run into Biscuit, and Biscuit looks like a little 5-year-old, and when that motherfucker transforms, it'll turn into like this big swole ass, like. So yeah, it's anime, so it's really hard to kind of be realistic in that shit.
No, it's
so
true.
You never know how old they are. Well, I think they did say they were 12 though, right? 12 or 13.
Yeah, they're 12.
Yeah.
No, they're 12. Cause I don't know what episode I just saw.
It was the episode when they were running. And that's literally when Gon and Killer first met each other.
Yeah.
And he was on a skateboard. Yeah, skating
And then
alongside
the
him.
dude who like the Leorio, who he looks like he's like 30-year-old corporate American businessman. He's actually like 15.
I'm talking about he looked just like a dude off of Yu Yu Hakusho, which like they got the same.
Yeah. No, they're made by the same dude. Shout out Yu Yu Hakusho. That is, I saw that shit.
Shout out Steve.
I saw that shit.
I'm on episode 26 still.
Of Yu Yu Hakusho?
I can't finish it.
Why, dude? You have to finish it.
Steve.
I'm
sorry.
You haven't even gotten to like the best.
You know where I'm at? I'm in that space where these niggas is going up the labyrinth, and they got to keep fighting niggas, and it's like, and they have the zombies chasing Botan in the real world and shit. That's why I stopped.
What, dude? That's to me was when the show really started getting like fun for me.
Really, when they was fighting in the dark and shit. I think it was cool, but I just got this thing with anime where if they just draw it out too long, I lose interest. But also, I can blame it on the fact that I'm watching like Demon Slayer and shit. So to watch like that's like a 20-year difference. Yeah. So it's kind of like watching like I don't know, Parasite. Yeah. And then going to watch Cowboy Bebop. You know what I'm saying? It's like all right, there's like so much of a disconnect even in the art. That is a little bit different. I think I might just have to be more patient. But people keep telling me, Rob, you're fucking stupid. Go to your room, finish Yu Yu Hakusho. And I'm like, yo, I'm trying. But like, it's just not clicking for your boy for some reason.
Shout out Demon Slayer. Shout out Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
I'll get to those after I finish talking about Yu Yu Hakusho. That shit, I mean, it's only, 112 episodes? It's not even that long. So you got to finish it, man. I mean, obviously take your time with it. I'm not going to tell you to
you
like
can
fucking...
just call them bully me. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. I can take it.
Yeah, man. But no, man. I watched that shit this past summer, kind of like in the middle of my little spiritual journey, and that shit, man, that shit helped me a lot.
Spirit gun after that.
Hell yeah, that shit, like watching that show, like really helped me, like, cause I've talked about it before, how like watching anime helped me get more spiritual, and like Yu Yu Hakusho, Demon Slayer helped me get into meditating.
It helped you kill demons too.
And yeah, kill demons. And,
yes.
You know, we all fighting our demons, man.
I didn't even think of it like that. I thought legitimate demons. That's funny as fuck.
No, I've learned a lot about demons. I'll get into it in a bit, but just focusing on Yu Yu Hakusho, like it helped me just like just the idea of like harnessing your quote unquote spirit energy, knowing how to control it, and like you know.
Is this copyrighted?
and that's like the best fucking theme song ever.
I can't front that shit do hit.
I remember the first couple episodes I watched it, was like, damn, this theme song's lame as hell.
You watch FMA Brotherhood though, right?
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me that intro ain't like I'm like a night.
I was still
that shit hit, boy. That's a fucking hit.
I actually have a whole playlist. I have an anime vibes playlist. I was listening to it on the way here.
Oh, hey, just that nerd shit I was talking about. Remember earlier when you was like, I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
At this point of the podcast, with people watching, niggas that don't watch this, skip.
Like, dude, the last song I was listening to before we started was the theme song to fucking Demon Slayer.
This nigga not lying. In the Spotify and shit.
Yeah, I have an anime vibes
up playlist. To the club, nigga.
It's a public play. I think it's public. Actually, I'm gonna make it public. Just If anyone wants to fucking check out my anime vibes playlist, it's about 3 hours, 26 minutes long.
What would you say your favorite anime intro theme song is? Then are you saying Yu Yu Hakusho?
I would say if Yu Yu Hakusho, it's like a toss up between Yu Yu Hakusho and then maybe Cowboy Bebop.
Really? Yeah. I got like 4 Naruto intros that just every time.
Ooh, you know what? Bluebird is fire too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And again, like I said, FMA Brotherhood. Every time that shit come in and the nigga got his hands up and shit, oh, that shit it builds. Even I like them fucking weird ass ones. Even like I don't know if you ever seen Soul Eater. But like Soul Eater has a really cool one, but also the intro is like 7 minutes long, no exaggeration. If you watch that shit, go home and just watch the intro. So you're like, this nigga was not lying. Like,
sure.
I had enough time to like take a piss and shit when that shit started. But yeah, I really like FMA. Brother, there's another one. I think Tokyo Ghoul had one that was really cool, but it was as far as the animation went. But I think far as like music goes, Naruto kind of got everybody beat because it was consistent.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? They were hitting a couple of them, and the outros too. Mm-hmm. You also can give it to like the Samurai Champloo too. You know
I love Samurai Champloo. I just finished rewatching that last week.
It's a perfect nighttime anime.
For real, perfect nighttime anime. Perfect. I think I would say that's my favorite anime to just like smoke to.
Exactly. There's something in the background shit. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of people overturn that shit on.
You know, because I know for sure like. Once I started getting back into smoking, I became conscious of like, okay, what the fuck do I want to watch? Because like I remember at the start of quarantine, smoking and watching anime was like I did that shit a lot. I was mostly watching Naruto and fucking Bleach, so a lot of action, a lot of fucking colors,
A lot
and
of
lights.
stimuli.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, and that's obviously that's good while you're smoking, but I like with Samurai Champloo, it's not so much of that. It's
Yeah.
just like
Chill,
it's just straight vibes. It's just got the cool music. You get the occasional like sword fight with just like the with the fucking New Jabez soundtrack playing in the background. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I fuck with this.
I
This
get what you're
is-
saying. I've been watching Adventure Time, and you try to watch that shit after a certain amount of time, you have a fucking seizure. Like, it's like, bro, it's so much fucking going on. So I understand that. That's why I told you, man, from this podcast, watch Inuyasha.
And you watch
Just
it?
check it
Alright,
out.
I'll check
And
out
it's an
Inuyasha.
amazing storyline. I'm a big fan of rom-coms. It's got like a little romantic shit in there, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like the perfect anime, and I really, really, really like that animation from that time. And
Alright.
I think based on what you're telling me, especially if you love Samurai Champloo and you like chill shit, you will love this. This would be perfect. Oh, it's 10 o'clock, and you watch the time. Like,
All right, for sure.
It's a great
Say
anime.
less. I'll check. I've always been like kind of like hesitant to check out
same.
Inuyasha.
I did the same, and somebody told me the same thing they told me about Yu Hakusho, and they were like, "Go watch both." So I watched Inuyasha first, loved it, and I think maybe it's only like 2 episodes of filler in that whole shit.
That's decent.
So, and the storyline is very similar to FMA Brotherhood, which makes me feel like they took from that because everything that happens correlates at some point again. It's like nothing happened for no reason, and then within the last season, you see all of it come together. So, I think you'll enjoy it, man.
All right, I'll definitely check. I never had no one pitch Inuyasha to me like that.
It's
before.
beautiful.
I just remember back in the day, like occasionally catching like glimpses of it. Back for like Toonami, like back when I was like a little ass kid,
Yeah.
waiting for like Dragon Ball Z to start playing, and then also like a few other people I know who like Inuyasha were like motherfuckers who like are kind of annoying to me. So I'm like, if they like that shit, I'm probably
Me.
not gonna like that shit. But like I said, man, we gotta backtrack. Yu Hakusho, you gotta finish it.
Okay,
'Cause-
well, COVID bump. This is an exchange of Yu Haka
Yeah.
and
Got it on
Inuyasha.
camera.
Okay, cool. I'm already
Yeah,
26 episodes in, so I gotta keep going.
That just reminded me of the
fusion.
No, not the fusion of the Sasuke and Naruto. When the Susanoo and the fucking Nine-Tailed Fox. Because I literally just posted
Hell
that. I
no.
literally posted that exact screenshot on my story the other day.
We on some real nerdy shit in here right now.
This is the best.
Susanoo. This man said Susanoo.
Susanoo. I learned, dude. I'm like learning Japanese and shit.
I had so many Naruto jokes, I cannot say the words. Even when you finished Naruto, right?
Yeah.
So when the fucking big ass eye turned into the moon, you said
Yeah.
something earlier when you was like my third eye was like half open.
Oh, my,
and I was gonna say
Tsukuyomi?
that.
Yeah.
But I see how you just said it.
Tsukuyomi.
It would have been chopped.
The
And I was
infinite Tsukuyomi
That-
project.
that shit. You feel me?
I don't know.
We got niggas in cocoons.
Yeah. No, I remember actually like this is way back before. This was before my spiritual journey. But now that I think about it, I guess you can say was the start of it. I decided to take acid,
Oh.
and I was like, and just fucking around on like Twitter, and was like, I put up a picture of Madara with his fucking, third
Eyebrows.
eye. Yeah, with his with his infinite Tsukuyomi eye open. And so it's a third eye. I remember posting it on my Twitter. It's like, about to open my trip acid, open my third eye, catch you on the flip side. End up having like a really like horrible come down. End up getting really super depressed and like.
Oh, that's not funny at all. What the fuck?
No, I think it's kind of funny. And end up getting super depressed. But then like I ended up doing shrooms like a week later, and that's when I really opened my third eye. So in a way, like it kind of happened the way how I said it would happen.
Yeah.
It just wasn't the way I expected it would. But
Yeah.
I'm like on my Madara shit. He's my favorite villain.
I feel that. I can understand that. Yo, I just figured out who my favorite villain was the other day, and I completely fucking forgot. Like, it was something I was like, yo, this is such a perfect. Was it the dude on Demon Slayer? No, it wasn't.
Michael Jackson?
It was no, not Michael Jackson. I forgot who the fuck. I was watching Demon Slayer though when I figured out who it was. Maybe it was the dude off Inuyasha. I forgot what his name was. It's a nigga that it's also looks exactly like fucking Michael Jackson. Oh my god! But yeah, when you look it up, that dude was a really good. I don't remember. I don't
One
think
who
it was
has a
him.
great villain, Yu Yu Hakusho. One of my favorite, I'd say after Madara, it's not so in Yu Yu Hakusho, the people with the villain that people mostly remember is that big fucking muscular dude, Taguro.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, cause that's just from like the most famous arc from that show is the Dark Tournament arc.
Yeah.
Which it makes sense. It's like an iconic fucking anime arc. It helped popularize the whole tournament thing, and that's popular in like every other anime. But my favorite arc in that show is the one after it because it's super fucking philosophical. And the villain in that shit, his name is I can't believe I'm blanking on the dude's name, but that villain was like, once I saw him, I was like, yo.
I would beat him.
No, man, no, but he was like, cause you know how like there's always those villains that are anime where it's like, damn, those motherfuckers, they got a point, you know? Like, yeah, they're evil, but are they like how evil are they? That was like, to me, I feel like that. Fuck, I can't. I hate that I can't remember his name.
It's all good, bro. Cause I was gonna tell you, I don't know how professional this is. I just downed this. I gotta take a big boy piss. So I don't know if we can pause for a second and I can slide. You know what I'm saying? We can just chop it. Even with the video, it could be like,
yeah.
Stand by and shit. Yeah, but I gotta take a piss.
Sure. Alright, Yu Yu Hakusho, anime villain, Shinobu Sensui.
Okay.
That dude.
Phenomenal
that was like, that was when I watched him as a villain. Cause you know that's a Yu Yu Hakusho. That's an older anime. When I watched that shit, I was like, oh shit, all these other villains that I fuck with
Based around him.
legit. Like, cause I really like villains who like villains who are like, oh, they have a point. You know, they're the ones that you kind of empathize with and you kind of understand why
You
they
see the
do
human
fucked
in
up
them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like he was the first villain in anime that was like that. At least that I've seen type shit. Cause his whole concept is basically that humans are just evil and that humans deserve to be punished. Basically, cause and it's real.
That's funny as hell.
Yeah, no, it's real. Cause like it's I don't want to spoil it. So you just
Let's
gotta get to
sidebar.
it.
Do you think humans are innately evil?
That's something I've been struggling with
Why?
a lot. I don't think humans are inherently evil. I think humans make evil decisions.
Yeah.
I think some of our actions are evil. That doesn't necessarily make us evil. But I also do believe that some people are just genuinely evil.
So with that concept, if somebody lies to you once, are they a liar?
Oh, fuck. Now, Steve, this just reminds me of every single like philosophy, the ethics class that I've ever taken. Shit. I don't know. I don't think so. I think we can only define people by the patterns they do. So like, if they don't have any patterns of lying, if it's just like, if they just said like one thing and it's not even like a blatant lie, maybe it was just like a slight, stretch of the truth, but nothing crazy, and it just only happens once, then it's like, I'm not going to consider that person a liar.
I get it. I figure I ask. These questions I like to ask people, Seem like a smart guy. Like,
I don't know. I feel like I'm dumb as hell sometimes.
Actually,
I'm not dumb as hell, but I'm just like, I'm not dumb,
you might just be a student. So
exactly. I'm just learning. Same. I'm not dumb, but I do realize that I just don't know shit about shit.
Yeah, that's a good place to start, because none of us really do. And when you can acknowledge that, then you can begin the learning process.
Exactly.
When you're like, I know this shit. Like, it's like, oh, okay, you're stuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's where your growth ends. So yeah, just understand that we don't know as much as we think we do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is the beginning.
Facts. Yeah. I just say I'm dumb, but like really I just don't know shit about shit.
Yeah.
But like those are two completely different things.
Yeah, my bad though. Yeah. So your villain mans.
Yeah, my villains. Yeah. So it goes back to like I just like villains who are into like making profound points.
I understand.
Yeah, but except Madara, he's kind of the exception to that because like he really doesn't make too much. He kind of makes some points, but Madara, he's just cold. That's really why I like him. He will just fuck up anyone. Like,
yeah, he is really good. I saw he dropped a triple-double on the Lee Village. Oh shit, that was stupid. All right.
No, I mean, he does bring up some points just in the sense of like, fuck the Hidden Leaf Village for doing what they did to his whole clan.
Wasn't that yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so like he definitely had a point, but then it's just like towards the end, because like he was basically trying to trap everyone into like a matrix.
Yeah.
And like that, I can't fuck with.
Yeah, I'm not fucking with that either.
Yeah, fuck all that.
That's unforgivable.
But other than that, though, he's the coldest villain, in my opinion.
Yeah. You want to move forward from anime? Because I feel like we've been talking about this for a minute now.
So let's just talk about something that we're both passionate about. That's physical health. smoothies.
I was about to say, I'm glad you said it before I did.
Nah.
Zelda.
What? I've actually never played Zelda.
Oh, see, I'm glad I didn't say it.
Nah. So no, I remember talking to Julian beforehand about this, and he was just saying how like you're really into just like physical health and just
I
like
love myself, fam. So I
Yeah,
just
man.
take care of myself.
legit. Like that's kind of like the mindset that I've been on lately. Cause you know, like I mentioned earlier, how like back in high school I was into fucking, 3 sports. You know, I was pretty lean. Got to college, stopped doing that shit because I wasn't involved in sports. So I was just like, man, why the fuck am I going to be in the weight room like I was back in high school, 5 days, 6 days out of the week when I don't have an obligation for that anymore. At least in my head, I didn't. I did. Now I realize I do have an obligation just for like my own for personal health.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like once I kind of like realized how important it is to just take care of yourself physically, like that's just like, it kind of all starts from there, because we can't control the world, but we can control ourselves. Yeah. And I feel like once you learn how to control and take care of yourself just from like a physical health standpoint, then I feel like that's when you'll start to see everything else like follow suit.
I feel like it starts with self-awareness, right? Because then you got to be able to even acknowledge what you did, which is obvious that you're self-aware. Then you got to understand, like, certain things work better for you than others, workout routines are different for you and me, you know what I'm saying? Diet is different for somebody like you and me and shit. But yeah, man, like physical health is literally like, I don't know, everything I kind of base everything around for me is based around, I have to be the best me, so I like the best of everything for my emotional, mental, physical health, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's kind of dope that, you know what I'm saying, that you recognize, because it takes a lot to come out of that bubble and be like, oh shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people look in the mirror every day and be like, it's fine. Like, you know what I mean? It is not. And if it's not fine, and like how you say, control what you can control. There's so many other X factors on the outside you can't control, but the one thing you can't control is what you eat, how you take care of yourself, what you consume, even with anime and shit visually and creatively and things like that, because those things kind of end up consuming you over time.
Shit.
So, yeah, man, definitely on the health tip, you feel me? Like, we got to stay healthy. Shout out Larry June.
Shout out Larry June, yes. Smoothie games.
You know what I'm saying? You must stay healthy on the plug, bitch.
Love my smoothies. I got a little like.
Oh, so did you get like a machine or some shit like that?
I don't got like, you just have a regular blender, but I just meant to say like my own little like smoothie recipe, not smoothie recipe. It's some shit that I took from YouTube, kind of added a few tweaks.
Okay.
But it's like a senzu bean smoothie. That's what I like to call it. Because it comes out looking green as fuck,
That's funny as
like
fuck.
Like a senzu bean,
Yeah.
I mean, for anyone who's listening to this and doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about, well, I'm sure if anyone who's listening to this
far,
this far, they're like, they don't, like, if you're listening to this far and you don't know what we're talking about, then like
I said, they might have skipped it though. Like I said, especially this is a YouTube video, then like motherfucker.
Facts.
Where's Trump? No, I'm playing.
Anyway, folks who have never seen Dragon Ball Z, senzu bean, little green bean that like if you eat it, it just makes you fucking stronger and healthier, shit like that.
If you were born before 1950, it's like Popeye spinach.
Exactly. That's legit. So like this little smoothie recipe that I kind of came up with for myself. I called it my senzu bean smoothie.
What's in it?
Spinach.
I'm still in this.
Spinach, broccoli.
Very green.
Yes, that's where the green comes from.
A lot of protein.
I put some chia seeds in there.
Okay.
Honey. I love honey. I'm a honey fanatic.
Absolutely. Be gay.
And then what else? Some lemon juice. Mangoes and bananas. I mean, you could put any fruit. You could put any fruit in there, but my favorite fruit are mangoes and bananas. So.
I just started liking mangoes 2 months ago.
How do you just start liking?
And I was shitting on mangoes. Like if you go and look on my Twitter,
you were actually anti-mango.
I was telling people, yo, mangoes taste like armpits. And motherfuckers was like, how do you know what an armpit tastes like? Well, stop it. It's when you smell some shit and you assume it tastes. I don't know. I guess kept having bad mangoes. And the thing about me with food is if I don't like something, I'm not gonna say fuck this forever. I'm very open to being like, all right, cool. Like I was telling even Julian, I try eggnog every year. It's nasty still. It's fucking terrible. Every year, it's like, yeah, this is no, it hasn't gotten better. Dark chocolate shifted. There's a period of time I hated dark chocolate. Now I love it.
Dark chocolate.
I don't know what it was 2 months ago. I moved back out here to Chicago, and there was a market and a predominantly like Hispanic Latino neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And they had all these different fruits and shit. They were cheap as fuck. But man, like they had mangoes. They smelled fucking amazing. They looked amazing. Apparently there's a difference. But I had the one that has like the green, yellow, and I guess I picked the perfect one, and bro, I cut it. I didn't know how to cut it, so I cut it in fours, really. I cut it like all the way around like that, and then all the way around the other side, and just peeled back and cut into the pieces, and it was perfectly juicy. It was like ripe, and I was like, yo, I fucking tweaked. Okay, and I had to literally like get online and apologize. I had to make a public announcement to Mangoes.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like the way I was bashing them, bro, like I couldn't just be like, I'm doing like no, because people were telling me too. It wasn't like I was saying this and people were like, oh yeah, like no, you're fucking ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Let me get a mango for you, and I was like, fuck you, I did. It's nasty. And so to be able to be wrong about some shit, you gotta be. If you a real nigga, you gotta be real. Hey man, I was wrong, and I fucking mangoed it out since then, man.
That's great. I've never heard of anyone who was adamantly anti-mango. I've always feel like mangoes to me are like objectively like top 3.
My soul wasn't right, apparently.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Because that shit, like, I don't know, but I had this shit, and I was like, this is really wild how good this is. And, like, I was able to just take, I don't know, when I like something, I overdo it. I got to dig the personality. So I was taking them to, like, the lake and, like, fucking putting a whole mango in the lake. And they're like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude?
That's a vibe.
Hey, man, with a book, you know what I'm saying?
Bro, that is my new, like, for next summer, once that shit rolls around.
Mangoes on the lake.
Assuming that we're still alive, inshallah. Yeah, mangoes by the lake, and actually with the book, and actually something I've recently started to do is, before back then when I used to get high, I would always just like either watch, I would always either listen to music, watch music videos, or just watch anime or fucking whatever else was on TV.
And smoke the mango.
I'm not gonna smoke the mango.
Oh, okay.
What I was gonna say is actually what I've started to do lately though is read while high.
Oh, shit.
That shit's super enlightening.
Yeah.
I've been reading Derrick Rose's memoir actually for the most part.
The GD Chronicles.
Yeah, GD. I actually just got to the part where he talks about that, where he talks about when he was in Memphis and that picture came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was funny as hell to me. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. Because actually, mangoes actually increase your high.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, no, that's true. So I actually looked up because I'm a very inquisitive person.
I like that word.
I literally just thought of it right now.
Yeah. Hey.
I was thinking about saying curious, but I'm like,
it explains you very well, man. Inquisitive. You know what I'm saying?
like
very Rick Ross adjective.
Yeah, I thought about saying curious, but then like at the last second, I just made like a little audible.
Thesaurus.com pops in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like my big words. I grew up watching Stephen A. I credit a lot of like my vocabulary to like watching Stephen A. Smith when I had no business watching Stephen A. Smith in like 5th grade.
So you like sport?
I love sports.
You like basketball?
I love basketball.
All right, cool. That's the only sport I like, really. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How you feel about the Lakers, man?
I love the Lakers.
Did you want them to win?
Yeah.
How you feel about the Clippers, man? All right, me too.
I mean, shout out Pat Bev.
P-Bev, shout out P-Bev.
West Side, do or die. He embodies Black Air Force energy on the basketball court. That's what I love about him.
10 steals, 10 turnovers.
He reminds me on some real shit. Like he plays basketball like the way I used to play basketball back in high school. Just like
jail ball.
Exactly. Like I'm not gonna be the guy to drop 30 and 10.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, but I'm just gonna harass the fuck out of you on defense.
Yeah.
Die for loose balls, even though I have no business diving for loose balls because it's just a meaningless fucking. To you, it's meaningless, but to me, it's like life or death.
Yeah, hey man. The way you do anything is the way you do everything, right? You gotta give it your all.
Exactly, and especially because I know I'm not the most skilled person on the court. I'm like, I gotta make up for that. Exactly, overcompensate. I just realized I just realized my life can be summarized by overcompensating.
Basketball teaches you lessons.
Yeah, no, I've been thinking, for real. No, I've been thinking a lot about how baseball and basketball specifically, I feel like are 2 sports where I learned a lot about life from those 2 sports.
Absolutely, I agree. Rest in peace, Kobe.
R.I.P. Kobe. Yeah. That was one of my favorites growing up. So when that shit happened,
that shit fucked me up. They should tell me I look like Kobe. So
damn.
Do I look like Kobe?
I don't think so.
Thank you. I don't think I look like Kobe.
Yeah, that shit was. I was just thinking about that shit the other day. Like, damn. I remember when that shit happened. Like the first 2 people who hit me up about it One of them was my best friend. The other person was someone who shall not be mentioned.
Yeah, nah, man, I'm a Kobe fan, bro. I remember I went to sleep and I got like a weird sleep schedule, and I took a nap and I woke up and I had no exaggeration, I had like 40 text messages, and before I can look at any, I had like 30 calls.
Yeah.
So I called my best friend back, like he's like, bro, Kobe, and I'm like, what the fuck, like this nigga, like, you know what I'm saying, spraining his ankle or some shit. What's wrong with him? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that shit fucked me up. I ain't gonna, bro. I cried for a good month and a half after that. Like,
yeah,
it fucked me up.
It was so that day. My best friend had called me. It was after church. Me and my pop were on our way to this restaurant on the north side called La Unica. Shout out La Unica. This is just an episode full of shout outs.
You gonna get some sponsors out of this?
Hope maybe. I don't know.
Hey, that's how you gotta do it. You got. You feel me? That's how you gotta do it. That's true.
Nike, hey, maybe Nike.
You know what I'm saying?
You got the Nike cap. I got the
you know what I'm
Nike
saying?
shirt.
Nike Chicago.
Shirt's
Fuck with my man.
I got the Cortezes on too.
You feel? Hey, Nike Chicago. Fuck with my man. He's doing some good work here. There you go. On the table.
Anywho, that day we're on our way to that restaurant. My pops, he parked to get some lottery tickets, so I'm just chilling in the car, just waiting for him. And my best friend calls me, and he's like, same shit, like Kobe. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? He's just like, no, bro, Kobe. And I'm like, bro, I need fucking like, you know, like bro, Kobe's dead. I'm like, what? Like that
that sentence is not something you can put together like that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Even watching that shit, it didn't even feel real.
Yeah,
you know
legit.
Saying?
I was totally waiting for, and then he was like, bro, just look it up on your phone. I was trying to look it up on my phone, but like I had no like internet connection type shit. I had Android back then, so fucking your ass.
Yeah.
I got iPhone now.
iPhone game. Shout out to Apple. Shout out to Tim Cook. Apple.
So yeah, like I couldn't even get any like live updates. So I thought he was like he probably fell for some Facebook shit, you know, like you know how Facebook kills off like a different celebrity like every other year type shit. So I was thinking for that, and then my pop comes in the car, and I was like, yo, pop, J-Bone just said that, you know, Kobe died, just put it on the radio or like look it up on your phone type shit. So he turns on the radio, and yeah, it was fucking crazy. And then by the time we got to the restaurant we were going to, I finally had like a decent connection. I was just looking at everything happening online. Shit was crazy.
It took me like 2 hours to be able to understand what the fuck was going on. So yeah, that shit was horrible. But yeah, R.I.P. Kobe.
Everything in 2020 just went downhill after that moment.
Man, you know what's fucked up? My 2020 has been really good. And I don't like talking to people about this. I'm just like watching people like, this is the worst shit ever. And I'm like,
no, I agree with you actually.
But you know, it's because
I agree with you.
With me being in this industry, it's nice to be able to not have the pressure of being out, right? And I get to sit back and do the things that I feel like I really had needed the time to do that I didn't beforehand. You know, so it's just a good time, even for what you're talking about, to be able to reflect and really get a good look at yourself, alone in silence without the noise of outside and things like that. And the, you know, well, I was going to do that, but I got to go to this event, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Obviously, even with me doing the special finish thing, it gave me more time to be able to hone in on that. So, I don't know. Like I said, it's fucked up. But again, like I'm like you, I try to look at things in a more positive perspective. But as far as growth, though, 2020 has been fucking phenomenal for you.
I actually agree with you 100% on that. Because I know for, like, obviously, that's the whole, right, like, thing is that 2020 has been the worst year ever. But I was recently thinking about, like, damn, low-key, like, and I definitely thought 2020 was like the worst year ever for me.
Yeah.
Up until I finally started to like, you know, grow and try to finally take care of myself and do that work of fucking healing and just trying to be a better version of myself. And since I have been able to do it, I'm like, 2020 is not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's all perspective, man. Again, and that's for me. I know some people dealt with shit. People lost people this year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna sit back and be like, no. But it's like I know for me, it's been fulfilling. And it's been eye-opening, you know what I'm saying? And it's definitely helped me work on my empathy, you know what I'm saying? With so much, you just see, like, you know, even for me, I'm moving into a new home, and motherfuckers had to find a place to live. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers is, like, dying. So it's just kind of like, I think for me, it just really helped me be able to sit back and be grateful for what I have. I think it's sometimes easy to get caught up in wishing things are different or you were further as opposed to just sitting back and remembering, yo, it was a point in time where I was wishing for where I am now.
Exactly.
And so it's just really, you know, being grateful and showing gratitude for the things that you already have. Not to say you can't want more. I feel like sometimes people say this like, be grateful. It's like, no, you can be grateful and still strive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Those things exist, you know. But no, it's 2020 was and it's been a fairly good year for your boy. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Likewise, all you other motherfuckers.
Did you have COVID this year?
I did not have
I think
COVID.
I had
thank
it.
God.
No cap. So you know how like the All-Star weekend was here, right?
Yeah.
There's no way COVID wasn't here before we closed.
Okay, that's actually valid.
So here, that was Valentine's Day weekend when it was out here in Chicago. Bruh, I was out every day. And remember, people coming from everywhere.
Facts.
And after like that Sunday, I went home. I'd never get sick. Bro, I was sick for like a solid 18 hours. And it wasn't nothing crazy, but I just had like a cough. I had a fever. And then, like, since I take care of myself, the turnaround was like, you know what I'm saying? But I had this cough, fam, for like a month. Like, I couldn't get rid of the fucking cough. And I was just like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Well, whatever. But this is pre them being like, yo, this shit is here and shit. So I think I might actually have that shit. And I don't want to be that guy. It just wasn't as bad. It wasn't as bad. You know, they gave me some therapeutics. No, like,
I'm immune.
You know, yeah, no. But I just, like, I overcame it. If that's what it was, because maybe it wasn't. Yeah. But I just couldn't think of it not being something along the lines of that because I don't generally get sick.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, now that you say that, I'm like, damn.
Think about between, like, January and March. If you had anything weird going on, it could have been that. It could have obviously been anything else.
I don't recall. I've always had a pretty good immune system.
Same.
Like, so I don't, and like, I mean, occasionally, you know, I'll get like sniffles, shit like that. Like,
yeah.
But that's just light work. So I'm like,
light work.
That's crazy thing, cause like, also back then, like, I remember before the era of COVID, like, motherfuckers would just casually just like share a blunt with,
bruh,
with anyone.
I
you
see
know?
Motherfuckers doing that shit now. It's like, fam, how do you? You don't want to just like chop it up in like fours or something like that? You know?
I'm not.
Mini blunts, you feel me?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've shared blunts with just so many strangers.
I feel that, man. I mean,
And
when
I
you
think,
smoke, that's the part of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
that's
it's an icebreaker, you know. But I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, man, that shit is now like that shit's so grimy. That's just disgusting.
It was never that one time when you grabbed it and shit, you tasted another nigga. Guy like that didn't happen. Like,
that's
stop
like,
putting your lips on the shit.
I swear, like, even after this shit ends, I'm like, I feel like I would never share a blunt.
I feel like weed culture needs to be more so like alcohol culture, right? You don't get a fucking glass of Hennessy and be like, oh, is it my sip? Like, no, nigga, get your own glass. I got my glass. And I think it's the same way. But for me, when I did smoke, I was a social smoker. So it was like, I got an ounce, then that means we have an ounce. It wasn't like I have an ounce and here's like a 0.5. And like, no, like we put that on the table and then you get your joints and shit and we smoke it as is. And if we run out, then fuck it. But we had a good time.
I mean, yeah, I've always been the same. I mean, I was definitely like, I like to smoke by myself too, but I also like sharing too. Like,
it's a social, like you just said, it's an iceberg, it's a social thing.
Yeah, I've always, like, that's always been, yeah, I guess because it goes kind of backtracking to like in the start of this when I said like I always struggled like making friends and I was always introverted. Weed was like the best way to make friends.
Yeah.
Because also 9 times out of 10, like the person I would like end up smoking with would end up like we'd have a lot of interest, and so we'd end up staying friends type shit.
I think it's funny because you find somebody to smoke weed and shit. It's just the very minimum, just that. You don't like anything else? Just weed? Fuck it, come on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can talk about this.
but yeah, like I've always been like very like you know, like my weed is your weed type shit. As long as I fuck with you type shit.
I just feel like that's the way it's supposed to be. But also when you go like to LA, it's like such a different. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it's just me because even in LA, I would literally like leave whole apes with motherfuckers and they'd be like, really? And it's like, gee, it's fucking weed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't just give you my fucking like social security card. Like, smoke that shit. Like, I don't know. But again, that's just me and how I like to thrive. I don't necessarily like to be a type of person where I can eat. And everybody else is just sitting like, oh, you eating? Like, no, I won't eat in front of you if I don't have enough. So if I don't have enough weed to share, I just won't smoke. You know,
that's fair.
That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There definitely have been times where I was like, I'm like, this is mine, y'all.
Hey, bro, I understand. Bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's whatever works.
But yeah, no, it also depends on like the people who I'm with. Like, I guess it goes back to like when I was around the people who I really didn't fuck with, but I was just around with because of the convenience. I really wouldn't share with them.
Hey man, like I understand.
I'm just like, I'll let you can take a hit, but like, unless you're trying to chip in or you're trying to net, like, it's not gonna work out. But for the most part, as long as I fuck with someone, like, my weed's their weed for sure.
I feel that.
And then just, but like, being backtracking a bit, like, you know, you being out in LA though. I've never been to LA. I was planning on going this summer before fucking COVID happened.
And then it burned down too.
It burned down?
I mean, you got George
Oh,
Floyd. You got the
yeah.
fucking fires.
Yeah, no, I actually I forgot about the
It's been a
fires.
long
That was
year.
it. Literally burned down. I forgot about
It's
that.
been a long year, fam.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of shit that happened this year that I feel like happened last year.
Absolutely.
Like I was just thinking about how G Herbo dropped PTSD at the start of the year. Like, but that shit feels like from 3 years ago.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? It's been I don't necessarily know if it's because there's been so much going on or if, like I told you, it's just we got to sit. And when you get to sit, time moves at the speed that it's naturally moving. You ever been like a situation where you almost die and it's like time slowed down? Yeah. Apparently that's how fast like things are normally moving anyway.
Time is so weird. Time is so kind of like I took a 3-day trip. I think I already mentioned how I took a 3-day trip last week.
Times.
Yeah. No, but ever since then, like my concept of time has like shifted.
What
like,
are you thinking?
I exist. I told this to my friend the other day, but I was like, I feel like I exist outside the plane of time. Just because I've always been super cognizant of time. I've always been very aware of time. And I guess I still am, but it's like, I don't know how to describe it. So I guess before I would, I grown in the household I grew up with, like my pops just taught me to always be super punctual. So I was always super punctual for the most part. College just starts to like slack off a bit, just because like I've realized that a lot of people that at least I interacted with really didn't care about punctuality. So I'm like, I could be late for like 5 minutes type shit, no problem. But since last week, I feel like, man, dude, I feel like what the fuck is time? Like this shit doesn't exist.
Yeah, it may be a human construct. I don't really spend too much time on it. No pun intended. Like, you know what I'm saying? Thinking about time and not time. Because when you look at things like, squirrels and shit, these niggas is just, they don't know what time it is. It's just darker than it's not. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then they're kind of more so free because if they die, I don't even know if they necessarily have the concept of that. They're just here and then they're just not. And that goes somewhere else. And like with us, I think that can even, the construct of time can be a little bit, I don't even know what the best word is for it, but it'll fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because then you're in a rush and you're not in the moment.
That's what it is.
And you know what I'm saying? It's instead of being like here presently, it's about, I got to get this done before this happens. Or I got to get this done before, as opposed to just being like, I get it done. And if it happens, it happens. And it doesn't, it doesn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, I feel like I've always been a procrastinator, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I've always been the type where, like, I need, like, some type of deadline to kind of give me that extra motivation to, like, get shit done. But then, like, now that we've been living in a time where, like, I don't really have no deadlines. And so, but now it's kind of like, shit, man, like, all this time shit doesn't exist. It's not real.
It's really about your purpose. And like I said, and that's what will drive you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then if you, like I said, as long as you know you're moving towards your purpose, well, you're good.
Exactly.
It don't matter if you're going 40 miles an hour or 130, like,
you're
going.
And exactly. And that's the thing, too. Like, I learned how to, like, because you said, like, when you have time, like, you just want to rush through shit. Like, I feel like I was trying to rush through life before.
Why? Do you think the outside stimuli were, like, speeding you up? Was it a comparison thing?
I never really thought about that. It could have been a comparison thing, but I don't want to say for sure. I think a lot of it was maybe just more so like, I don't know, I just wanted to improve my situation as fast as I can type business. So I think I was always just trying to, but now I'm kind of like, shit, man, I'm not in a rush, man. I'm still 23.
Hey, you got plenty of time. I mean, I'm 27, bro. I got plenty of time.
Legit. Like, that's the thing, too. Like, just talking with people, like, older people specifically. And I'm like, man, like, I think it was, do you know Green Slime?
I think I seen him on Twitter, but I don't know him personally.
Shout out Green Slime.
Shout out Green Slime.
But no, I was talking to him one time, and it was like shortly after I kind of went through my little existential crisis. And I just, like, mentioned it to like some things I was going through with him. He was like, "Yeah, bro, like you're gonna go through this shit for like at least another 10 years, maybe 3, because you actually went to college and you have a good head on your shoulders type shit." So when he said that to me, it was like, shit, like this is just the shit that I'm going through right now is just normal. You know?
It's you paying dues.
Yeah,
you know
like
what I'm saying? If you want some greater shit, it ain't gonna be easy. Ain't nothing worth it gonna be easy. So yeah, it's just like if you thought it was some shit like. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like it's how he said, he's right. You probably gonna keep going through it because if you one of those people, you gonna get to where you were trying to get to, just like now. Because there's a period of time before this, you was working a regular fucking job and you was thinking about today. Now you here today thinking about tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to be like, oh shit, like I'm here, you know? So, yeah, I mean, but that's a good thing because that's going to drive you to keep leveling up. But it also sucks because then it's like, damn, how do I appreciate my accomplishments?
Yeah.
How do I appreciate the work and, you know, give myself my flowers and shit? And, you know, but I think that's just, you know, being a creative. It's kind of hard to do that.
How do you give yourself your flowers?
By paying it forward. A lot of times I realize to be able to get closer to your goals, you have to be able to help people get closer to theirs. It's not get it, give it. It's give it, get it. And a lot of times people think it's the other way. I need to get paid first before I give money. No, you give the money you have, then you get paid. That's how the universe works. You know what I'm saying? So it's what you put out, you get in return. So if you constantly taking, then people are going to constantly take from you. The universe is going to constantly take. If you constantly give, then they constantly give. But also, that's not just in the monetary thing. That's in love, emotion, things like that. If you put out love, you'll get things in return that feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? If you put out negativity, you'll get in return things that feel out the same way. If you tell, just speaking on even just negative shit and just saying I can't, won't, don't, things like that, you won't. And then things will pop up to make sure that happens. You know, I had a fucking Airbnb host once. This motherfucker was randomly enough like I don't know what the fuck it was, like a motivational speaker or some shit. But he told me one thing that I remember. He said everything is the thing and then the lack of it. Prime example, light. There's no real such thing as darkness, just a lack of light, because you can't put darkness in a bottle. You can put light in a bottle, and everything is exactly that. So when you have money, it's either money or the not having of it. Now, whichever one you focus on will dictate whichever one you get. But most people stay broke because they focus on being broke. Like, if you have $13 in your account, you keep seeing $13 in your account, you're like, fuck, well, I'm going to have I got to figure out how to get more than this, as opposed to, like, that's why rich people, they see money all the time. So they keep seeing money all the time because they are locked into this place of that being a thing. But, you know, you can shift that, but it's just like a mind shift. Yeah. I mean, that helped me with money. I've had I can only show you a day of a negative $23. The next morning I had 10 grand. Just like that. Didn't know where it came from, didn't know where it was coming from. I just didn't sit back and focus on, oh, well, I'm broke. I didn't never feel like I was broke. Even when I didn't have money now, I would still look at cars and shit that I like, you know what I'm saying? And then the universe will, in turn, even if it doesn't it will literally fall in your lap. And I tell people that I did not know. Like, it's not like some shit where I was like, oh, yeah, like, I went and I did it. No. I literally woke up like, fuck, like, how negative is my air is $10,000. Like, and it's happened multiple times, you know what I'm saying? But just based on the concept of that, being and understanding everything is the thing and the lack of the thing. And when you can perfect that, you can manifest some really crazy shit. And that's really the art of it. Understanding what you want and then almost daydreaming of what that feels like. And then, you know, things start to shift up and you'll get it. You know, and that's why I always tell people, like, whatever the fuck you want, you'll get it, nigga. It's like being on a moving walkway in the airport. You can stand still. That motherfucker moving the moment you say you want it. But unless you hop off of it or walk the other direction, that's the only way you won't get it. But that always starts with, you know, you, me, ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I ask you, does it come from outside stimuli? Because even for me, I mean, even as men, we look at other men like, oh, shit, like, he's doing better and blah, blah, blah. Because we all want to have our own shit and be like, you know, at the end of the day, look at me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's kind of about. And men don't do a good job at being like, hey, like, I'm down right now. Even though that's honestly the natural state of things anyway. There's here, then there's here. That's natural. That's not failure. That's not being irresponsible. You can have $1 million and then have $500,000. That's down. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's just the natural state of things. So I don't know what I'm talking about at this point, but I kind of went on a random tangent. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That was I fuck with that heavily. That was raw as fuck, bro. It's just like crazy. Because I mean, what you're saying, just like you get out, whatever you put out into the universe, you're gonna eventually get it back.
Every time.
It's like an investment, and like that's something I've been thinking about. That's why I've been very invested in like spirituality. Because I started to just realize,
that
like,
shit work.
Exactly, that shit fucking works. Like, yo, that manifestation shit, fuck yeah, bro. That shit's like, it was just weird because it's just like obviously the world we live in. I guess we just kind of expect results right away. So when we don't, exactly, it is unrealistic. But like I said, for whatever reason, it's the world we live in. Like we expect it right away. So like when shit doesn't happen right away, it's immediately like. At least for me, I was just like, fuck, man.
But that's when your purpose comes in. If you really care about what you care about, nothing else will matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, because even with this music, there was times in L.A., I was homeless. But I never really gave a fuck because the reward for the purpose was more that I thought about than my natural state, because you understand the state that we in isn't necessarily just permanent, especially when you're not where you want to be. Mm-hmm. And we've all been there. We all been in places where we wish it was different and it changed. And understanding that emotions are fickle, situations are fickle, meaning they constantly change it, and just understanding that even when you up, hey, bro, get ready, because at some point that shit goes,
legit,
you know what I'm saying? It's going back down.
And that's crazy. That's another thing, too, because I remember, like, I kind of had, like, a similar experience last year, actually, where, like, I was depressed as fuck, and then, like, I finally started to, like, get better. Not to the extent that I've been doing now, but, like, just similar, like, I had a down month, and then, like, the next, few months I was doing good for myself. But, like, in the back of my head, I was always thinking about, like, this shit's not gonna last. This shit's not gonna last. This shit's not gonna last. And sure enough, it did. It didn't last. Yeah. And sure enough, even though I knew it wouldn't last, when it happened, I was so like still devastated and in a ways caught off guard. Even though I was still telling myself that. Yeah. But I think it also goes back to like I feel like the universe is also giving me a bunch of signs to kind of like, hey, you're kind of going off course that you were originally on. Yeah. And I just didn't pay attention to those signs. And so it was too late.
My bad to interrupt you. But the more you're in tune with your intuition, you'll be able to tell. Something will be off. You ever just walk in someday and be like, something's off. I just threw up. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like being like a 10-year-old. We've all done that shit. You ever wake up in the middle of the night? Like, what the fuck am I? That's some intuition shit. So it's about focusing and really honing in on that as an adult. You laugh because, this shit happens.
That was a good example.
Yeah. So, even with what you're saying, I think is just that, and the more self-aware you are, I know. The more self-aware you are, the more that becomes a thing, because when you know what you are in, I guess your homeostasis, when you kind of get out of range, it's like, my arm kind of feels weird, and then you look and it's like, oh shit, fucking scratch it. You ever do that shit? You know what I'm saying? That's just being in tune with just the physical self, where it's like, I mean, if you play sports, y'all both play sports, y'all definitely had times where y'all played, and you're like, cool, and you get in the shower, and it's like, fuck, and then you got like a big ass cut, you know what I'm saying? That's just, being in tune with your body, but you can do that too, because you understand what your body is like when it's normal. You're supposed to get that too with your brain and your mental and shit, where like how you said, when things kind of start to go awry, you can be like, yo, like, what's going on, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? Am I not taking enough time? Is it something that needs to get out? Is it something I need to say? Is it something I need to do? Things like that. So, yeah. Sorry, keep going on tangents.
Bro, I go on tangents all the time. So it's always fun whenever I have someone that does the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
What was I going to say, though? Like what you're talking about, like, like when there's times before, like this summer, where I kind of like would look back and I would feel like something's off, but I couldn't tell. But I was thinking about this. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday because I was thinking about it while I was working. For whatever reason, my brain just started to go into like a distant universe from what I was doing, and I just started to think about numbness and how numbness is a coping mechanism for a lot of people. Absolutely. And I know, at least for me, that was definitely the case. Absolutely. And how now that I've been very self-aware, and self-awareness is like just constantly knowing how you feel and type shit, and like knowing who you are type business. And I just look back and I'm like, damn, that numbness that I was doing, that was like, whether just being high or just like or just adopting this like nihilistic mindset of just not caring about shit. Yeah. Just so that way I wouldn't feel bad. It prevented me from like feeling good too, because it's like in order to, I wasn't allowing myself to process how I was truly feeling, because I was just always either constantly high or just not just or just giving my attention and energy and shit that wasn't me. So that way I'd just be distracted from me. It just made me realize, like, damn, man, like I wasn't allowing myself to really feel my feelings.
But I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like I told you, it's balance, because peace is either clarity or cloudiness, right? And I think that, especially with the deeper things, it's not a bad thing to be like, yo, I'm going to take a fucking mental break. I'm about to just get fucking high as hell, because your brain not supposed to be constantly like work. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that's a bad thing. I think again, it's just a balance of knowing that, like, you know, it's cloudiness of clarity. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's best to just be like, fuck, I don't want to think about shit. And then sometimes it's best to be like, all right, all of it's on the table. You know what I'm saying? And it's just about finding the good balance in that. You know. And I think sometimes, like, we're not really forgiving to ourselves when we push ourselves to be like, you have to. But it's like, no, bro, you do a little bit here. You know what I'm saying? Then, all right, maybe on Wednesday we just get high. All right, on Friday we cry. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then shit like that, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to just, there's another test today. There's another test today. There's another test today. Like, you know what I'm saying? That shit, your brain is not supposed to work like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be able to take those mental breaks. Literally is why we have to sleep, you know what I'm saying? But while we're conscious, you know what I'm saying, to be able to take those mental breaks as well, too. And be more forgiving, you know what I'm saying, to the shit. Especially, like I said, if you anything like me, you got to this point now. So you have all 23 years to unpack, and that's a lot. Because then it gets deep to try to figure out, like, you know what I'm saying, why the fuck am I like this now? Is it me? Did somebody do it to me? And then if somebody did it to you, then you have to be able to figure out how to forgive them. It becomes a long, complex, like, I didn't have to be here, like, all types of shit, like, you know?
It's a lot, man. There's a lot of time. I saw a meme. I saw a meme the other day where it was just like, I don't know, it was like a boxer or some shit. Like, all right, I'm about to go fight my demons. And then, like, after round one, it's like, this shit's hard. Fuck this shit. Yeah, like, motherfuckers just drinking water. And I'm like, damn, that's exactly how I feel.
When I started going to therapy, my therapist told me the only way to be able to describe it is if you never went to the dentist until now. So you have that much work of your teeth to do in your mental teeth. That makes sense?
Nah, that makes perfect sense.
And it's the same shit, you know what I'm saying? And just imagine it takes as long as it would take for that to heal and correct. The same thing with your mental and emotional. That's why you gotta give yourself a break. Give yourself some time to be like, all right, bro, like, to even be able to try is crazy because them motherfuckers are 60 years old that never tried. Yeah. They like, I'm gonna just put it right here and I'm gonna die. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's that. Man, I know so many people who are like that.
Yeah,
like,
man. I mean, it's easy to be like that. Because again, it's escapism. You fucking get you some wine, some beer, some whatever. That shit is numbing. And it's like, are you over it? Are you numb because you closureless? Two different things. But most people move far towards the closureless shit. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. All these things they actually care about, all these things they wish they had, they convince themselves they don't. And before you know it, these niggas was crying at the party on Saturday and all of us looking at them weird. And it's like, bro, like, why you do this tonight? This is my first day off work. Like, so it's just like, it becomes complex.
I've definitely been in that situation.
And we all been there, bro. And like I said, and that's nowadays my whole thing is just being human. I just tell people be human, G.
Facts.
Like, and it's okay to be disappointed, and it's okay to feel upset when you don't get the things that you feel like you need from people. And it's okay when sometimes people can't be what you need them to be. It's okay not to be sometimes when people need you to be for them. But again, like, we just don't live in a society nowadays where people even self-aware enough to be able to acknowledge those parts of themselves, let alone someone else. And nowadays, it's my big thing. Most people don't even know themselves. So everything they do to me is just a reflection of how they feel about them. I don't really look at it like when I go into places and people tell me or if they disrespect or whatever, it's like, oh, okay, bro, you hate yourself. Like it sounds fucked up, but it's just like, and then for me, that made me feel better because I'm not listening to a motherfucker that hate themselves. Yeah. Like, you don't even like you. Of course you don't like me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, straight up. No, that's something I've kind of realized recently too is, yeah, man, like, people just project shit onto you. And like before I became very self-aware, I kind of I recognized how I did that to other people.
I still do that shit now. It's subconscious.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about subconscious, man. That shit's really powerful.
It's clicking on its own. And that's why, even to go back to other shit, I always tell people what you feed your subconscious is important. Mm-hmm. So, even what you watch on TV and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? You have to be able to reiterate these positive things. And not so much so that you can't be afraid to confront the negative, because like I told you, like, it's a pendulum. Mm-hmm. So you have to be able to get as comfortable with the negative as with the positive. Yeah, that's kind of been like my inner turmoil. I can't say that fucking word. Inner turmoil lately is trying to get comfortable with the negatives. Mm-hmm. Like, I've been able to, like, now that I've kind of like been, I've kind of been on this process. I've kind of been on this journey. I've been able to there's some negatives where I've started to look at it in a positive light. Like, I was like, okay, I had this negative experience or negative interaction, but I see what I learned from it, type business. I recognize how I grew from it. So that's good. But then there's some, like, negative interactions that I look back at and I'm like,
what the fuck did I gain from it? And that's the shit that bothers me the most. Is like, if I didn't gain nothing from it, then what the fuck was the point of it?
Well, nothing ever happens to you for no reason. But again, it's like how you said, it's a perspective thing. Because at the very minimum, it just showed you what you didn't want to be. That's something.
Mm-hmm.
So it never was nothing. It could be like somebody did some fucked up shit. That's fucked up. All right, cool. I never want to be that. So at the very minimum, it showed you that. It's information and everything, bro.
Facts.
Because also you gotta remember, like, with all the shit in the world, why did it happen to you? Why did it happen with that person? Why did it happen at that time? Mm-hmm. All these things have to have some meaning, you know. But maybe they don't. Maybe I'm just a guy. I don't know.
I mean, shit. Like, that's something I've been thinking about too. Just like I've been more forgiving of other people too. Is because I'm also kind of like, well, shit, hurt people.
Facts.
So I'm like, anyone who's like ever, caused me harm, I'm kind of like,
they said
exactly. Like I start to recognize it after the fact. Once I started to like do my own self healing, and it's made me. And now I look back on those people, and I'm like, damn, this motherfucker hated themselves the whole time, and it makes so much sense why they treated me that way. And I'm like, and in a way, so it's like any type of beef that I had with them, I'm like, I don't even give a fuck.
You gotta drop that shit. You gotta be a bigger person. It's not hard once you understand that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's bigger than that. You almost empathize with it. Like, I wish I could get this motherfucker a hug.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, man, I understand it 100%. I'm also losing steam, so that's why I'm kind of like.
I feel you. No, I feel you.
How long have we been talking? Yo, it's been like 2-3 hours.
Has it? An hour 35? It has been an hour 35?
That's what I'm saying,
I thought,
bro.
Yeah, you know what? I'm tweaking.
I like how you just got my, like, how I just am ridiculous on camera when I just over-exaggerate, and it was like, it's been 2-3 hours. Yeah, it's been 15 minutes. 2-3 hours.
Yeah, no, I feel like, I feel like the break kind of, not threw me off, but, like, I felt like it was less than that because I feel like, okay, we had it, like, the break was decently long, so, like, I'm sure it was, like, in total, like, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, in my head, I'm thinking, like, 45 minutes.
I knew it was longer than an hour. You know what I'm saying?
All right, well, shit, we could probably wrap up then.
Yeah, we could definitely wrap. Did you got closing statements that you say? Or
Nah,
like,
I usually, usually whenever someone just says something really profound, I'm just like, that's a good point. That's a good way to end it. And, like, the shit you were saying was, like, pretty spot on. So I'm like, I mean, I was just going to say, it all goes back to just fighting your demons. And that's my biggest lesson that I learned from Demon Slayer.
That's a nice little, freshman English class way to wrap up the paper. You feel me? Come back around to the intro. I like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't really got nothing too profound to say, man. Believe in yourself, nigga, and take care of yourself and take care of those around you, and be nice to yourself and say nice things to yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna be all right.
You can learn all those things from watching Demon Slayer.
Absolutely. Or Hisoka.
Yeah. I forgot the fuck I was gonna say, but yeah, no, this is a fun ass conversation.
Absolutely, man.
Super.
I appreciate you having me on, man. Like,
no, man.
This is a privilege for me to be able to have a conversation with you. I appreciate it.
No, bro. This is super fun, super enlightening. Shit.
I appreciate Julian.
Shout out Julian for being the link.
Yeah.
The connection. And yeah, no, this is super fun. A lot to take away from this. I look forward to hearing back this conversation. That's what I've been doing with all these podcasts. I'll hear back from it, and I'm like, damn, we were really spitting some real ass shit.
I'm looking forward to listening to this shit too. Hey, send me this shit tonight. Give me the rough. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want to hear it. I'm looking forward to it coming out. Oh my bad. I'm looking forward to it coming out. And then yeah, man, if you ever want me back on, nigga, I'll pull up. You know what I'm saying? Man. Like, and I'm always down, you know what I'm saying, for the cause. I'm hoping that at some point this shit becomes one of the biggest podcasts in Chicago.
Damn, that's a lot, bro. Because that's something that I've kind of been struggling with lately is because I know it goes back to, like, the Mike Tyson podcast. I was like, he talks a lot about just, like, fame and ego and shit like that. And I'm like, watching that shit, I'm like, man, I don't want none of that shit. Fuck all that popularity bullshit. So that's what, but then,
Are
like,
you sure?
It's weird though, cause like having this podcast, it's like, fuck, man. It's
you
like,
need people to watch it.
I feel like I don't need people to watch it,
Fair.
but I definitely, like, the whole purpose of, like, I know inherently the longer I do it, the more people will watch it. So that's something that's like, damn, that's something that's gonna happen at some point. So it kind of stresses me out because I'm like, I don't want that.
Well, like I said, as long as you know that, you won't get it. You will get like 15 views on these motherfuckers and it'll be cool. But like I'm saying, like, it's whatever you want. So if you at some point want that to switch and you're like, fuck, I don't want this shit to turn up, it'll turn up. That's why it's whatever you want. That's why I told you what you put out, you gonna get. You just gotta be careful what you're saying. Because that's why I said, if you don't want it, I don't want you to do this. Be like, oh, it didn't get that many views. What you said, like, you know what I'm saying?
Man, I don't even give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about views. It's like it all goes back to that thing, like you said, going back to the intro.
Yeah.
Like I'm just do this thing, and whoever fucks with it, fucks with it.
I feel that, man. I'm with you.
To me, that's the.
Let me not imply my hopes onto it. You know, I just feel like you're a good person, a special person that deserves the attention. That's what I meant to
Thank
say.
you. I appreciate that.
And
you said special, which is like, that's funny because in the beginning I was like,
word of the day and shit. Fucking Muppets and shit.
Anyway, though.
I think that's like actually like Pee Wee's Playhouse. There are no Muppets. Were there Muppets? I don't know.
Anyway, this is a good time to wrap up.
Absolutely.
Maybe next time we didn't talk about Demon Slayer Cowboy Bebop, unfortunately.
Okay, so we got that for next time then.
So yes, put that.
And I still never seen Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, what
See?
the fuck?
That's perfect. See, that's a perfect way to end this. You should just end it at that point where he says, "What the fuck," and then put the music like just like that.
All right then. Thanks to everyone who tuned in. Where can people find you at?
Oh shit, I'm in my crib. No, but I am at Rob Lyrical at pretty much everywhere. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Clubhouse. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole different conversation. But yeah, man. Special Finish Wins. You can follow us at Special Finish Wins too as well. Chinza Fly, at Chinza Fly. Testarossa Steve. Steve's pretty much the other guy. He is the other half of me as far as all this shit goes. You can follow that guy too. And yeah, man. Like I said, in the streets, if you see me, man, say what up. But you know, Chicago, so don't be weird, cause you know. We jumpy.
Got the glicky on them.
I ain't gonna say all that, but we jumpy. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks to everyone who tuned in. Stay up and yeah, man, go fight some fucking demons or watch Demon Slayer type shit. I don't know.
Respectively.
Peace.